We have come up with 100 days challenge for targeting UPSC 2025. Why you should be taking up this challenge? Because if you see, between prelims and mains, already UPSC has reduced 28 days, and most of the times people tend to start their preparation for prelims just few months before, and for the mains mostly after the prelims. What happens is that when you start few days before the prelims or few months before the prelims, you will be under the anxiety, and when you are anxious, your productivity is low. So whatever you read, most of the times you don't internalize. Though you put your effort, that is not realized. This is one of the reasons, and already UPSC has reduced the time period, and many a times you miss out on right approach, guidance and practice. Some people have guidance, they don't practice. They practice, they don't have right approach. So there is a need for combination of all these things, which you will be learning through this 100 days challenge. So how is it going to work? For prelims, if you look at, especially what happens is that many a times people know that PYQs are the important source. You know that PYQs are important and everybody will be doing it. But still, many of the students, despite practicing PYQs, they won't be able to clear the prelims. What is the reason? If you question yourself, many students tend to see PYQs as a source of information. That's where they go wrong. It is not the source of information, rather it should be used as a source of approach. What approach you have to take, in what manner you have to think in the final examination. See, I will be showing you the sample questions and I will be explaining you. But what is the ultimate target of this program? Everybody is having PYQs, plenty of information is flooding on the internet. Then what is the use of this program? Here we are going to focus on the process. The people who are going to guide you in this program have cleared the exams consistently, and that too IFOS cutoff. Right? So they have cracked the key for prelims and mains. They have given multiple interviews as well. So they have cracked the key for this process, and that is what they are going to help you with, because it is the requirement for UPSC prelims and mains. You have to master the process, not the information. Plenty of information is available. Everybody is having equal resource. But where people make the difference is how they are understanding the process of exam. That is the important thing you have to focus upon. So here what we will be doing is that every day the PYQs and current affairs questions will be given, and along with that weekend you have the test. First thing, you might be having a doubt that I have to manage my prelims, I have to manage my mains and optional. Is there sufficient time? I will give up on prelims now. I will focus on mains and optional. Prelims I will do later. See, with this notion only, many a times people start preparing too much for mains and optional and they forget their prelims. And what happens is that when they lose prelims, whatever the effort they have put for mains and optional, GS mains and optional, it will go in vain, right? It goes waste. So here you need not dedicate much of the time, you need not put much of the time. Daily, just by giving 1 to 1 hour 30 minutes, just 1 to 1 hour 30 minutes, solve these 20 questions and watch the video in these 1 hour 30 minutes. So video will be somewhere around 30 minutes, which will be helping you learn the approach. I will show you the sample. So this is the sample prelims 100 days challenge. So if you look at, we have given UPSC previous year questions, year wise, topic wise, and you have the practice questions. So these are year wise questions on particular topic which you will be practicing. So you have the solutions, detailed solutions are present. Okay, you have the detailed solutions of each of the question. But you need to understand here the target is not knowing the information. Suppose take any question. So you take this question for sample, that with reference to the history of Indian rock cut architecture, consider the following statements. The caves at Badami are oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. The Barabar rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. At Ellora, caves were made for different faiths. These are the three statements, and they have given certain combinations. Okay, now if you look at the caves at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in the India. Barabar rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. Now here our target is not to focus on the information or the content, but the way you have to think in the exam hall. If you look at as an examiner, what comes into your mind, how can you make a student go wrong there in the exam hall? It is easy for the examiner to replace the name of the emperor. So you can change the name of the emperor, that is one of the easy possibility. And if you look at that, they have given two caves, caves at Badami and Barabar rock cut caves. By basic knowledge, we know that the earliest rock cut caves are Barabar caves. So are you looking here that they are trying to interchange the names? So this is one of the things which you have to keep in mind when multiple names, similar names are given or similar statements are given, then you have to observe whether there is interchanging of the names. And Ellora caves were made for different faiths. At Ellora, caves were made for different faiths. And this is the basic statement that you will be learning as a part of your process. But here, if you are not sure what is right, you have to think from the examiner perspective that there are more chances of making you going wrong there by interchanging things. So if you observe carefully that these statements, instead of Barabar rock cut caves, they have placed it with Badami. Okay, and especially Barabar rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. So here, instead of giving the right name, they have replaced with the other one. So if you look at the solution, Barabar caves in the Jehanabad district in Bihar, and some of the caves have inscriptions that date back to the Ashokan period. The caves were constructed by Emperor Ashoka, and which we know clearly that this was belonging to the Ashokan period. But intentionally the examiner will try to test you. So you need to learn how you have to approach the question rather than just focusing on the information. Tomorrow they might not ask this question. but from the basic knowledge that you have learned, they'll try to test by interchanging things. Okay, so these things has to be kept in mind while you are solving the previous year questions. Okay, so this is one of the important thing you will be learning for prelims. So in this manner, every day you will be given PYQs, you will be given current affairs for practice. So in 20 minutes you solve the previous year questions, you solve the current affairs questions, and then you watch the video in the evening. That will cover around 2500 MCQs in these 100 days. Just by giving 1 hour 30 minutes, you will be covering 2500 MCQs, and here you will be doing 2 rounds of PYQs from 1990 onwards. Okay, so you will be doing 2 rounds of PYQs. So by January 10th, if you have finished all your PYQs and you have written weekly tests, you have practiced important current affairs questions, then after January 10th you still have 4 months. If you have the feeling that you have already finished these things, your confidence levels will definitely be at a very different stage compared to those who did not do it. So that is the reason you cannot ignore prelims till the last day. Okay, so what happens is that many a times we will ignore prelims and we will just start few months before, but my suggestion would be prelims you should dedicate very little time. So out of 10 hours if you are giving, so 1 to 1.5 hour you can dedicate for prelims. So by doing this you will be able to manage your prelims easily and you won't be worried, because all the efforts you put in mains, GS and optional, if it has to be realized, then definitely prelims should go well. So that we cannot ignore. So that is the reason in this 100 days challenge, for PYQs you will be given 10 questions, for current affairs you will be given 10 questions, and you will have weekly tests. Through this you will cover around 2500 MCQs, okay, which will help you deal prelims very comfortably. And coming to mains, with respect to mains, the preparation mostly remains haphazard. If you look at the main syllabus properly, there are 400 to 450 topics. Now when you sit and read, you will be knowing the things, you will be understanding, you will feel comfortable reading it. But when a question is posed, you will start thinking again and you want to revise what you have read. You are not sure what exactly you have to write. So this kind of preparation will not give the result. Okay, so whatever the outcome you are expecting, that would not come just by reading. So what is the most effective method of completing mains is that going topic wise, take the syllabus, and within the syllabus we have divided it into multiple micro topics, and for these micro topics every day you will be given 2 questions. Okay, so you will be given practice questions, you will be given PYQs, and you will be shown how year after the year same topic, how it's tweaked and has been asked in different ways. So using the same basic knowledge that you have, how you have to apply and approach the questions, and how to understand the demand of the question. Especially many of the students miss out the demand of the question. So here what is the ultimate goal? To finish 400 to 450 topics. You will be having daily practice questions where you will be explained the previous year questions, the approach and the basic knowledge which you can use to solve the practice questions. Okay, so what we will be doing is that you are given 3 practice questions and you will be explained 3 PYQs. So these are explained and you are asked to apply these concepts over here and practice. And tomorrow in the next session, all the doubts related to this practice session or these practice questions will be taken up, and you will be explained the next 3 PYQs, and you will be given 3 questions for practice, and then doubts of these questions. Okay, so all the doubts of today's class will be discussed at the end. So any doubt that you have with respect to previous class or the same class will be discussed. Here the main and ultimate goal is to help you know the demand of the question, how to develop the content and approach the answer. Know the demand, develop the content and approach the answer. So here you will be learning the structure properly, and whatever you have learnt through practice question you will try to apply. So application of the knowledge, many a times we read but we don't apply our knowledge, so that is where we go wrong. So if you practice application, then there won't be any problem in writing the test. So that's why first we learn the application, and at the weekend you have tests which are included in this 100 days schedule. So through this what we will do is that we will cover 400 to 450 topics in very effective manner, and we will be doing it very slowly. So daily we are taking only 3 topics. So by giving 3 hours a day, so if you are giving 3 hours or 3.5 hours in a single day, you can easily finish 3 topics, write 3 questions, listen to 2 explanations, and if you do it for these 100 days, definitely you will be at a stage very much comfortable compared to others, and definitely this will be adding to your confidence post prelims, and this confidence will also make you work hard for the remaining days post January 10th. Okay, so then coming to optional. So this optional I will be explaining separately, but with respect to prelims and mains, if you look at covering the PYQs in the right manner, understanding the process and mastering the process is important, and that's what we are going to learn through this 100 days challenge. And why you should be taking up this challenge, I have already told you, you have very less time and your productivity goes down if you do few days before or few months before the exam, and at the same time you might miss on right guidance, right approach and right practice. So here we are trying to ensure you are getting the right guidance. You have the mentor 24/7 support. Any doubts you have with respect to your preparation, you can reach out to us. We will try to resolve as soon as possible. And with respect to approach, you learn in the class. With respect to guidance, you can reach us anytime. With respect to practice, you have daily answers and weekly tests. So by ensuring this, you will be ready for your UPSC 2025. Okay, so see you all in the class. Let's all work together for these 100 days. Trust me, if you are working hard for these 100 days, definitely you are among the topmost competitors for this year. And this is the best way to approach, and it is the right time. So let's not make it a lost opportunity. See you all in the class. Thank you. Let's not make it a lost opportunity. See you all in the class. Thank you.